So welcome to the seventh episode of the Dialog Project. We have with us Kaushik Jha, who is working as a senior analyst in consulting at GEP Worldwide, and he has been recently admitted into the Indian School of Business, a Young Leaders program for the flagship MBA program. So we'll be discussing his entire application experience with him. Hi Kaushik, welcome.
Hey, hi everyone. Kaushik here. I completed my, BTech recently from SPIT last year 2021, and I've been working at GEP Worldwide since. And yeah, I applied for the YLP program in last year March, and it was a long process, primarily because of the COVID extensions and everything. But yeah, we recently got the results, and I got admitted to that. So thanks for having me here.
Sure, Kaushik, thank you. So starting with our first question, what was your profile like before applying to YLP, as in the kinds of internships or extracurricular activities you did in your college and your grade in college as well?
Sure. Yeah. So I had 8.68 CGPA in my college, and I didn't actually take part in the internships, but I participated in a number of projects and competitions, like national level competitions, and which sort of helped me build my resume and focus my intentions toward a non-technical field, that is the consulting and business consulting and everything. And that is what was primarily the focus of my entire application. And apart from that, my GRE score also, I believe, helped me in securing the admission. So I got a 333 in GRE, and that too was an added benefit to my entire application profile.
And what was your split for GRE?
It was 166 for verbal and 167 for quants.
Wow, wonderful. 166 in verbal. Okay. So what is the exact difference between the three modes of entry the Indian School of Business has, which is their YLP Young Leaders Program, EEO, which is early entry option, and through the normal PGP process?
Right. So, of course, the one key difference between the normal PGP process and the EEO and YLP put together is that you get a deferred admission. So basically, I'll be starting my MBA sometime later, not exactly this year. So it allows me the opportunity to explore different areas of my interest before actually joining the PGP, so that I can get the full benefits out of that program. So that's really helpful. Apart from that, so YLP also has these weekend learning programs, which ISB conducts, and it's sort of like they help you get ready for the program whenever it starts. And the early entry option is for people. And the difference between YLP and early entry option is that YLP you can only give while you're in your college years. Okay, that is third year and the fourth year. Okay, and or the pre-final year or the final year, depends on which program you're doing. And the early entry option is for people who've not applied in college, but we don't have the requisite work experience. That is, while ISB requires 20 months of work ex. So if you don't have that months of work experience, you can apply for an early entry option, get an admit, get the required number of work experience, and then join the program.
Okay, understood.
That's great.
What exactly are the stages involved in the process and the rough deadlines, if you remember?
Yeah. So the first deadline is in March, wherein you've asked to submit your basic details. I mean, the academic details, extracurricular, like basics of extracurricular activities and projects or awards that you've won, and an essay that you have to write. So I think last year the essay topic was what is one event in your life that you would say was life-changing for you, and how did it affect you, and how it affect your perspective around people around you. So that was the first topic. And once you clear this round, I think majority of it depends on how well you write your essay, because the other things like academics and everything, I believe everyone has a certain, they provide a certain amount of leeway for that. So writing a good essay is key here. Second round is the deadline is around August 31st. So in that, you have to write another essay. You have to get an evaluation or letter of recommendation from someone. So I took it from my manager where I was working. And you also have to give your GRE or GMAT score. So, I mean, of course, there's something that I want to sort of clarify, that it's not just GMAT that you can give for applying to YLP program. It's also GRE. So they accept both scores. So these three things, and yeah, I think these three things are, and a resume, of course, resume in second stage. So you apply, you give these, you get, and then typically what happens is you should get a call starting September, October. At this time it got delayed because of I mean, unusual circumstances, right? Everyone knows. But typically the interview starts in September, October, and you get results by November. And the interview stage, I would say, is, it's atypical of other MBA colleges. They don't really ask you about your engineering, any specifics of any engineering. That, unlike IM interviews where they ask you about bijunction, transistor and everything, which you might not remember. Here they're actually looking, just they're not looking to eliminate you. They're looking to see, they're looking to absorb you in the program, just looking to see whether you can actually fit or not. They're not here to grill you or anything. They'll just simply ask you questions about your resume. They'll simply ask you questions about your um your behavioral questions, like, why do you want to do an MBA, why ISB, what is so different about why ISB, why you're not doing for some other colleges, and things like that, which you definitely need to prepare for before coming to the interview. So yeah, these three stages, and then you finally get the results.
Okay. Got it. How was your interview experience like? If you could just explain us a bit in a bit more detail.
Yeah, sure. So the interview experience was, the pre-interview experience was a little nerve-wracking, because we were still waiting for the interview calls, which got delayed, and everyone got anxious, and we all were asking questions on GMAT Club, when is the interview. So yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking. But the interview itself, I would say, was very relaxed. There were two candidates. There are two people who took my interview. Both of them were ISB alumni. One of them was, I mean, they were both working in some of the big firms, and so they asked me about myself. They introduced themselves. They asked me about myself. They asked me. So they saw that I had done a lot of projects and participated in a lot of competitions on my resume, as well as the internship experience and the current work experience, right? My internship experience, like the 8th semester internship experience at GEP. So they asked me questions around my projects. They asked me questions, and they went one step further in some of the projects that I had done. They were interested in an essay that I had written on affordable housing. They asked me about it, asked me what different parameters would you define for determining the affordable housing price of a region. And they went into a little bit of they want to see that we've actually done your stuff. It's not just blabbering. You're not just blabbering about your project. So they go into the details of certain projects, but they also focus a lot on your individual personality. They want to see who inspires you. They did ask me the question that who is your biggest inspiration. And they also asked me questions around like, why do you want to do MBA from ISB, and what sets you apart from your peers, because you come from a good college from Mumbai. So what would you say is something that is very much different, very unique to yourself, and which would be a value addition to the ISB cohort? So yeah, and lastly they asked me whether you have any questions for us. So always be prepared for that, because they'll definitely ask, and they want you to have good questions. So one of the questions that I had was, since one of the candidates was it herself a YLP candidate, like YLP entry candidate. So I asked her what advice she would give to people who get admitted through YLP to utilize the time between the YLP program and actual starting of the PGP program, so that you can maximize your benefit out of the actual program. So they really appreciated the question. They asked me, they explained that you should look for certifications and everything. So yeah, you should go through the best tips I would give is go through the entire curriculum, go of their ISB program, see which programs that you like, and prepare your answers around that yeah, this is something that I've worked in. For example, I had worked in digitalization, so I had thought that I would definitely want to do digital transformation course at ISB. Talk about what other aspects of ISB that you really like. For example, their placement program is very unique. So they have a full-time set of full-time employees who actually work towards the program, full-time MBA, full-time placement. So that is also very important. Like research about the ISB program, build up all the behavioral questions and HR type questions. So yeah, I would say that was my interview experience and preparation.
That's great.
Okay. So moving on, are there any essay tips or the preparation tips for the interview that you would like to give to our viewers?
Yeah, essay tips. I would say be you don't have to use a lot of grandiose words or be very verbose. From whatever I've seen, like even from my the essays of my seniors who got admitted through YLP, I've seen that they write in a very clear and easy to understand English. They are very clear about their goals. You don't have to be extremely creative. I mean, if of course if you are a creative, that's an added benefit. But even if you write, if you write a well-written essay with a proper start, a middle section, and an end as to why, explaining the question that they've asked, then it should be good enough. Like be clear about your goals. You don't have to use fancy words. Just go for normal.
Great. So coming to our last question, Kaushik, how should an aspirant build his or her profile?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, from talking from my experience, I would say internship, having a good internship, having good projects and extracurricular activities on your resume are really beneficial. Having I mean, if you have had the opportunity to work at some NGO and create actual meaningful impact, that is a really good thing to have on your resume. Apart from that, you should definitely focus on either of the exams that you're taking, GMAT or GRE in the second stage. And always, I mean, one tip that I would like to give about the essays: always get your essays reviewed by people who whose opinion you value. Because your first draft and your final draft, if it's the same, then that means you've taken no effort in your essay. You should always have a good first draft, but you should also get a lot of reviews, feedbacks, take into consideration what you like, and just modify your essay accordingly, and give your submit that application. And yeah, for the interview, I would say just be yourself. They're not really looking to grill you or really looking to make it tough for you. Just looking to see what all aspects that you have in your overall application.
Which would you recommend? Which would you rate higher in your in a person's resume? Would it be A, internships or any experience, professional experience, or B, any extracurricular activities like debates, conferences, research papers?
Good question. So these things, internship experience, and of course, they all matter before the interview stage as well. I mean, having a good debate, prize winning competitions and everything is definitely an added benefit. Like having good scores, having good, internship experience and everything, it does matter. But I would say it matters the most in the interview stage. And that is where you have to dictate where you want your interview to go. Okay, if you leave all these breadcrumbs in your tell me about yourself, they'll definitely pick it up. They'll pick questions from there itself. So if you want to highlight your debate experience or your extracurricular experience, go for that, sure. But if you think your work experience is unique or will definitely something which is your highlight of your application, then talk about that in your tell me about yourself. Focus on giving examples from your work experience, or focus on giving examples from your extracurricular activities, whichever is your forte. So yeah, I would say that's what I felt.
Got it. Basically, it's in the applicant's hand, right? How to drive,
Yes.
where to drive.
Yeah.
Got it.
So with this, we have come to the end of our video, Kaushik. Thank you for being on our discussion, being a part of our discussion, and sharing your insights to our viewers. Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank
lot
you,
for
Kaushik.
having me. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. I hope your insights and experiences help a lot of viewers out there.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Really glad to be part of this.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey folks, thank you for watching our video.
Please like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Also, guys, please don't forget to mention your views in the comment section below, and see you soon with our next video.